contemplative reading by the International Spiritual School of the Golden Rosy Cross. Today, as we find ourselves living in times of change, we would like to reflect on the unity underlying all life. Today, as we see around us that consolidated structures are eroding, we would like to reflect on new cosmic forces that drive mankind towards new consciousness and renewal. This development finds its purpose in building regeneration out of degeneration. These profoundly changing circumstances force us to become aware of our soul and to start being inspired by it. During this contemplative reading, we would like to reflect on Christ consciousness and on a new approach to life that requires clear and conscious reflection. It requires application of the law in our heart on the basis of a true state of faith. That's the point when nothing and no one can prevent us from making what is now imperfect to what is absolutely perfect. Consciousness is life. Everything that lives possesses consciousness. Life and consciousness determine each other. The essence of all life is consciousness. Everything that lives, everything that is, has its origin in the highest consciousness. That consciousness is all-encompassing, is divine. State of consciousness is state of life. State of life is state of the blood. State of the blood means the resolute deed in purposeful attitude of life. We possess a biological consciousness that organizes all bodily processes. Without having to think about it, it controls, amongst other things, our heartbeat, our blood circulation, our respiration, and the metabolic processes. The nature of the consciousness determines the way in which we want to live, what we want to do or don't do, how we are coping with life, which aims we have in life, and what we attract and what we reject. Mahatma Gandhi illustrated the flow from one's belief to one's destiny in the following quote: "Your beliefs become your thoughts. Your thoughts become your words. Your words become your actions. Your actions become your habits. Your habits become your values. Your values become your destiny. Therefore, state of consciousness is state of life."
Suppose that someone is striving for higher spiritual values and wants to achieve a new consciousness. Then the question is whether a Christ consciousness can be achieved by simply just improving or expanding our current consciousness. In this context, a parable from the Gospels, from Matthew 9, can provide an answer. New wine should not be put into old wineskins. Our consciousness is the result of our ensoulment. The nature of our ensoulment determines and controls our life. Renewal of consciousness begins with a totally new ensoulment. Only when our 5 soul fluids are nourished and used in another way will another consciousness arise, and will we become a new being. Can various religious orientations people practice today help us achieve that? The word religion is derived from the Latin word religio, and with its derivative, religare, which means to bind together. Re denotes again, so it denotes to bind back the soul to God, which is a common heritage of mankind, to bind back the ensoulment factor to the One. Therefore, there is a subjective and an objective religion, an outer religion and an inner religion. The inner religion differs a lot from the outer religion, because the outer religion is set on various outer rituals and rites, different dogmas, societal classes, colors, and creeds, and is personality-driven. The inner religion is one and the same for everyone and teaches us about love. It reminds us of the unification and connection between humankind and God. The inner religion, sometimes called esoteric spirituality, recognizes instead that within the mortal human being lies a divine element, often indicated as being in the heart, which can and must connect the human being with the Christ consciousness, without the interference of a guru, master, priest, and so on. The divine element, and therefore the responsibility of creating that connection, is found within the human being, within each of us. This weakens the case of outer rules, dogmas, and intermediaries. Who wouldn't want to become acquainted with that inner, imperishable, and divine element? This knowledge can be obtained. It is a quest into our own self and into the cosmic all, a quest that is 1,000 times more exciting than seeking for earthly treasures. The quest for the eternal within the human being is a journey to the center of our being, to that which is most certain, to the kingdom of reality. From that kingdom we have originated. We are insolubly rooted in it. The quest for this fatherland, this new life field, is our task in life. It begins with the insight that this is our task. Being conscious of this task in life is not believing on the authority of others, but it concerns an independent sensing of our path and of getting to know what truth is. We know quests that stem from selfishness or from existential fear, but the quest for the imperishable appeals to our desire for liberation from the limitations of our earthly natural consciousness, and to the longing of our soul for the eternal behind everything transient. This quest requires absolute honesty. It requires detaching from our fixed patterns of thinking and feeling, escaping from our prison of images, concepts, and insights. Only what we ourselves have experienced as truth has any meaning here. This quest is an inner path. The spiritual path is often seen as the start of a long and demanding journey, and in a way that is true. But those who devote themselves to true spiritual development soon experience that in practice, almost everything is different than they had imagined. To actually follow a spiritual path requires that we find the inspiration for this in our own lives, in us, to become aware that we are twofold beings affected by both heaven and earth. On this basis and through this urge from within, we will strive to give expression to our inner heavenly being in daily life. Although the journey may be long and at times difficult, it is a journey that everyone must begin at some point. No priest or spiritual leader can act as a mediator for us. What matters is being in tune with the all, with the one, with the unity of life directly in our own being. Here we may wonder, is it in fact possible to shake off the chains of the natural consciousness by ourselves? Can we lift ourselves up, standing in the middle of life, lift ourselves to the insight, to the conscious being, that we are one with the infinite? Or does this remain a gift of the eternal to a few chosen ones only? Living our life in the here and now is truly important. Why? Because we have received our lives to be able to prepare for the inner breakthrough, so that the spiritual light may penetrate more and more deeply into us. This light will make us aware that we are a crucial part of a powerful divine plan that stretches from eternity to eternity. To make us aware that our deepest being is part of a heavenly symphony. It is part of a cosmic dance and a radiant joy. For every human being, it is possible to rise up to the perfect freedom of eternal being. This unification means that the eternal is giving itself away. Whoever surrenders with his whole will and his whole being to the eternal receives this gift. Hence, the path to harmony with the all is open for everyone. To what level someone ascends on the path depends on himself only. No one's access to the eternal is barred, but walking this path to the end remains the privilege of those who have received the consciousness for it and have matured for it. Everyone has to walk the path themselves. We can travel together, share experiences and truths together, but only knowing that this is the truth is not enough. Only the living possession of this truth will liberate us.
Truth and consequent activity are for the things which we experience ourselves. Through our quest, we become conscious of ourselves. We learn to distinguish what belongs to our biological state and what to our inner divine state. Thus, we find the primeval source of all life within ourselves, within our microcosmic system. Through that inner source, we achieve the experience of our unity with God, cosmos, and fellow human beings. We ourselves must become a path in order to wake up to higher consciousness, to higher life. The principles in the universal teaching and the basic principles of all religions are essentially the same. This is not a new faith, not a new religion. It is just a common ground for all to sit together, irrespective of whether we belong to one religion or the other. As human beings, we are all one. As souls, we are all one. Therefore, we can connect with the inner rose, the mustard seed within us, which will begin a change in consciousness and thereby access the eternal source of universal wisdom, which has always been with us. This journey of inner discovery and transformation requires our individual awakening, the inner connection with this Christ force. This new force is the sun that arises on the horizon of our consciousness, yet at first we see only the dark mountain outlined in our present state of being. Enclosed in this new force are the three principles of the universal Logos, which will one day be manifested as the three new superior vehicles of the immortal being within us. And even at the beginning of the path, this new force, which emanates directly from the spirit spark in the heart, has the ability to light the way like flashes of light, like sparkles of light that illuminate the mirror of our consciousness. This new force is the pulse of the spirit spark in our hearts. This new force is the power that pushes us forward on the path. This new force is what has made us seekers of truth. It is the new force that will not let us give up on our path, however many difficulties and obstacles we may find there. This new force is the seed and the principle of the higher mental body, the higher mind. This seed and this principle allow us to see ourselves as hovering above the labyrinth of the repetitive circuits of the memory of the I consciousness. The path of joy opens the gateway to the infinite. That is why all who are approaching the light should change not only the way they approach life, but also the way they perceive it. Only under such circumstances can religion show its true face. Only then can throw away its outer garment and reveal its inner source, which is the gnosis, the knowledge of God, leading humanity to the truth of the threefold magic formula. Born out of God, through the will of the unity of life. Died in Jesus, through wisdom, which is in love. Born again through the Holy Spirit, through activity. That is the threefold vocation for the Gnostic human being on the path of Christ consciousness in real life. May the following days give us all the renewing strength to make this a reality within ourselves.